the Prime Minister has already made it very clear that putting a voice to Parliament is at the top of his agenda. The Prime Minister is set to speak here, his first keynote speech on Indigenous affairs in an Indigenous community a little later today. We do expect that the Prime Minister will outline the question that he sees at this stage being put to the Australian people. Let's have a look at the detail of that. That includes the question, do you support an alteration to the Constitution that establishes an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voice? Now, some of the detail of that would include the wording to go into the Constitution that there shall be a body to be called the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voice, that the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voice may make representations to Parliament and the executive government on matters relating to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, and that the Parliament shall, subject to this Constitution, have power to make laws with respect to the composition, the functions, the powers, the procedures of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voice. So really they're putting this detail out there. The Prime Minister is expected to focus on humility and hope, a key theme of this very important speech, because of course we know that it's going to need hope, that we as Australians don't like to change our constitution. There have been 44 attempts, just 8 successes. The most successful, in fact, the 1967 referendum to count Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people as Australian citizens. That one garnering the biggest support. The architects of the Uluru Statement that have led to this call for entrenchment in the Constitution say that it's about the unfinished business of our nation. And that's very much one of the themes here at the Garma Festival, and you can see behind me the cultural forum here. This is one of the places where some of those key conversations are happening, set around a campfire. And of course, that's exactly what's happened for tens of thousands of years, that sites including this one and many others around the nation, First Nations people came together to meet, to communicate, to share stories. And as we start to have a look into Garma and into just what's happening here, you can see great lines of people at this early in the morning. Even though the weather is spectacular here, this is the coffee line where people are getting started before kicking off on the day, because there are going to be a lot of big conversations happening today. Of course, there is the key forum where the Prime Minister will be speaking, the Bungal not far from here, where there are those sacred dance performances. And it's really important to note that when it comes to that dance, the song, that this is the way First Nations Australians have been sharing stories for tens of thousands of years. Those stories weren't documented in books that were left to gather dust on bookshelves. It was through dance, through performance, through singing that connects so powerfully to this red dirt here, this bauxite soil, where if you can see this is what connects through. It's about country. It's about how we connect with people in this nation, to the land, to the soil, to the song lines, to the storylines that are right throughout this nation. So it is so powerful to be here, and we are expecting there to be a big conversation today from the Prime Minister. We're also expecting there to be a lot of reaction and discussion going from this point forward.